The fix was on, and the red Mirage. I'm going to be honest with everybody, okay? Kamala Harris, at the time I'm doing this podcast, still has not conceded. Am I still super confident? Yeah, I'm confident, but again, do I believe it's won yet? Do I believe that they're, Russia collusion? Who knows what they might pull out of the bag? And guys, I'm not being hyperbolic. We've been there. We saw what happened in 2016, and I'll get into 2020 in a bit. So I'm watching last night, and they all of a sudden they come out and say it was on Fox. They're saying, "Well, it's going to be a long night, everybody. It's going to be a long night, everybody, and you may want to go to bed, and we'll pick it up tomorrow morning." I don't know who said it. And I was on one of the other networks as well. I had a couple different feeds going. They're like, "Well, we're going to have to stop the vote and, count tomorrow. That doesn't mean anything nefarious is going on." No. I'm saying to myself, don't do it. No, please don't. And I have to believe, and some of the information that I've received, that the Trump people really threatened to go nuts unless they kept the vote going. I watched the setup because, again, you can, the media and the left, they're good at this. They craft narratives. We talk about narratives and the stuff that they're trying to sell. Have you noticed a new phrase that popped up basically everywhere? Did you see it? The red Mirage. Did you catch that? I did, because, again, all of a sudden these phrases pop up and all of a sudden they go viral everywhere. All the media picks up on this and they start to run with it. I've talked about this before. Limbaugh did a really funny bit about it on his program back in the day with Dick Cheney and the Latin word gravitas. When George W. Bush picked Dick Cheney to be the vice president, all of a sudden the word gravitas, he adds gravitas to the Bush ticket. I mean, it was everywhere. They all started saying the same thing. It's like all of a sudden all these media honchos out there and talking heads are speaking Latin. Anyway, neither here nor there. I watch them do this all the time. It's how they craft a narrative, and they work together. You start repeating the same phrase, the same thing in a myriad of different places. People are like, okay. And if you actually saw on social media, you had ex-media pundit Katie Couric coming out there and say, no, this is just a red Mirage. You're going to see what happens later. Here, everywhere. All these leftists saying the same thing, like they were fully confident that they were going to win. Now, I have hunches when it comes to things, and I like to believe that I'm going to win, but I don't come out, and especially if this person in the media, and I do decree this is what's going to happen. But they did that pretty much across the board. Across the board. It's as if they knew something. And again, you have various different people on the ground, various different places catching irregularities, boxes of votes that are showing up in certain places that they're caught on videotape, ended up getting rejected. How does this happen? How does this happen? Again, and I'll talk. We'll do another podcast a little later on today about the left, and by any means necessary. Last time around 2020, something definitely stunk. Something was rotten. There was no doubt about it at all. However, Donald Trump and the team that he put together were flailing around like a bunch of idiots, trying to prove that the fix was on in the steal, and it was a disorganized disaster and mess. And again, they had to know that, quite frankly, that the media was going to try to destroy them. So you're talking about fighting, uphill battle. All right, that's straight uphill, not even uphill. You're climbing a cliff at that point in time. The Trump campaign, they screwed up 2020. They decided to push people not to send in early votes. They didn't have the proper poll watch. They did a lot of things wrong. I'm going to give you numbers. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. We say this all the time here on the program. Don't take my word for it yourself. Okay? If you don't believe me, you don't believe what I'm saying, look it up. Let's go back to Obama. When he won, he got about 65, 67 million votes. When Trump won, he got 67 million votes, lost the popular vote. That's where actually he got a little bit less. Hillary Clinton got 67 million votes. How is it that in 2020, Joe Biden got 82 million votes? Again, I want you to get your arms around this, okay? How is it that he got 82 million votes? This time around, Kamala Harris got around 66 million votes. Yet, we're being told that there was record turnout in this election. How is there record turnout in this election, but there's 18 million fewer votes? Inquiring minds want to know. Past couple days, I've done podcasts on elections here in the United States. One of the first things, if I was Donald Trump right now, one of the first things I would do is clean up elections here in the United States. Again, I'd work within the 10th Amendment of the Constitution. If a state wants to run, its local elections, its state elections like some sort of banana republic, I don't care. That you can do that, okay? You can do that. And basically, that's what they do in California for the most part, the way that they gerrymander their voting districts there to ensure that, that there's no shot in hell a Republican will ever win. And it's impossible now, the way that they have structured it. I'm talking about any federal election, House, Senate, presidency. Everybody in this country, because it's a federal election, should be on the same page. How is it that the state of Florida, one of the most populous states, okay, I'm biased, I live here. How is it that the state of Florida is able to count everything, be done in an hour? Freaking Arizona is only at 50%. What the hell are they doing? Everybody drop peyote or something like that, hanging out in the desert? How are you at 50%? How are you not done in the state of Michigan? How is this possible in today's day and age? Maybe you should just, have Ron DeSantis, do a TED Talk or teach a class on how to run elections. I could teach a class on how to run a state as well, quite frankly. But I would clean that up right away. Right away. That needs to be done. Again, people are calling for, Trump really needs to research what happened back in 2020. You can't go back in time. You can't go back in time. You can't. Even if, people did nefarious things, rather than focus on trying to, who was messing around with things, if that happened, okay? But for crying out loud, fix it so it doesn't happen again. Don't allow that to happen again. And again, like I said, this is for both sides. This is for both sides. You don't want to have a country where again, the people in power can end up rigging things. What do you think I want to live? I'll flip it the other side. You think I want to live in a country that's run by a bunch of, again, country club Republican blue bloods? Yeah, we got Dr. Beeper and Judge Smales running the country. Now, I'm the Rodney Dangerfield guy, okay? Okay, I don't blend in with that crowd. I don't want them running it either. Which means you have to have the ability to vote people out. It means we've got to get this under control. I know I've done several podcasts on this. It's that important. We got to pull our collective heads out of our asses. This can't happen. Not showing ID. The states that Kamala Harris won, the states that Kamala Harris won are the states where you do not have to show ID when you show up and vote. Just saying. Isn't it ironic? You think? I mean, come on, people. You might have different views than I do, whatever it may be, and that's okay. It makes the country great. Okay, you'll be able to debate various different ideas, and you present your ideas. But, you shouldn't want to win. I know you may have a strong belief in whatever it may be, but you should never try to win by cheating. And don't tell me the rest of the world's not looking at us. It's the United States of America. We're running our system like this. And like I said, I've been following this stuff for a long time. I know these people. I know what they're capable of. I know what they can do. Red Mirage. Yeah. Somebody got the memo. And just to reiterate, back in the 1990s, I ended up finding myself. I ended up being able to get on, and this is actually happened. This thing called Journalist. And in the 1990s, it was just this basic. Remember, they had those. It was like a chat room. This is early parts of the internet. This was back when people were still, AOL. You got mail, and basically, what Journalist was all the media outlets, all the people in the media that would go on there, and they would have little discussions on their chat board, their message board, on how to basically craft a narrative, how they were going to go about covering it so they could get all of their ships sailing in the same direction. It's Godfather 3 reference right there. There's a Don Lucchese. Bad guy. Yeah. Again, people, it's very, very important. Very important that, we all question everything and become critical thinkers. But, watching last night, and as I said, I'm perfectly honest with you right now. Okay? Until Kamala Harris comes out and concedes, I'm still nervous. Watchdog on wallstreet.com.